myself, they call me J.O. N to the easy E. Know that we undefeated.
Next up, we've got an amazing panel discussion, Decentralizing Social Media, Does Web3 Empower Users? And this is going to be moderated by Vugar, Adigozalov. Now, our guests on the panel are Ripul Mahajan, who's CEO at Cillionaire.com. We've got Marcin, Rzetecki, who's the managing director at the Polish Blockchain Association. We've got Maiuri, who's marketing and growth director at Deepcoin Exchange, and Vugar Adigozalov, who is CMO at Bean Crypto. Please welcome our panel to the stage.
This is forever. And there will be no surrender. Yeah. Here we go. You know that this right here forever. No surrender. It's forever. You know.
Everyone. Speakers before me were making you stand up. I won't. But as we are talking about social media today, I want all of you to make a lot of posts and, of course, tag blockchain_economy. My name is Vugar Adigozalov. I am the CMO of Bean Crypto. And today we are talking social media and how does Web3 empower users. I have my great colleagues with me. Of course, we'll start with the Ripul. He's the CEO of Cillionaire. As Binance's CZ said, Cillionaire is a crypto millionaire. And most probably, you all, when you wake up, go and check your wallets and exchanges to see, are you rich enough yet, and or you are still holding on your precious crypto in this beautiful market. And we have Marcin. Marcin is the managing director of Polish Blockchain Association. He has more than 15 years of experience in IT industry, and of course, he is the publisher of the numerous articles in the industry. And definitely, we have our colleague all the way coming from US, Michelle, who is the growth director for Deepcoin. And Michelle always thinks that blockchain technology should be integrated in our daily lives to change it for the better. And today we will be discussing how social media can change our lives, as it already did, and how it can help us to mainstream and adopt Web3, blockchain, and crypto into our lives. The idea of social media where users can engage with each other been around most probably since the internet was invented, because it was the idea of internet to connect people, entities, and institutions. And I'm not sure what's the age range in here, but back in early 2000, there was something called MySpace. Then, of course, at the Harvard dorm, Zuckerberg invented his famous Facebook. And this peer-to-peer connectivity idea turned into a billion-dollar industry. Also, all large social media platforms we know today are run as a huge corporations. I believe that decentralization is deeply rooted in a concept because users create content for each other, we entertain and inform each other, we interact with that content, and eventually algorithms decide which should go viral, but not always, as we know it from the historic events. In recent years, we saw that all the Facebook, Instagram, WhatsApp of Zuckerberg were combined under single umbrella of Meta, and I think the most beloved entrepreneur of the blockchain industry, Elon Musk, jumped into like Twitter train, thinking with an idea of making it next WeChat. And of course, countless controversies around TikTok, been here for all the time. And today, this simple peer-to-peer communication platform became a huge industry that everyone wants to take a share, and we will be discussing whether crypto industry can be part of this. And I was checking the numbers yesterday, and social media has almost 5 billion daily active users. It's more than half of the world's population, and it's a $60 billion market cap industry. Can blockchain and Web3 adoption help us get a share from this market? And I have a question for you, Michelle. Can we consider social media in this existing form as a decentralized or even like at least semi-decentralized organization, considering how much it's fractured between creator economy, content creators? Of course, it's run as a corporation, but there are so many different entities and institutions invested. What do you think about?
Sure. So thanks again for having me up here. I've been running our social media and community development for over a year now, and just been seeing some interesting things going on in the field and how there's some blockchains trying to come in and create decentralized social media, which I'm not yet sold on. But for this question, I would say that sure, while we do have decentralized content in terms of hey, I'm making this video, and I still own this video, and maybe I can make some money off of it. But I think that because of the algorithms and how things are fed to you these days, the way we're consuming content is definitely not centralized, right? There's companies that can influence what we're seeing, that can pay, right? I mean, it's a major way we communicate in crypto. We can't use some of the paid methods that we might want to use. Otherwise, we rely on social media, right? So there's a lot of things you can do, hashtags you can use that I think has kind of separated and moved social media definitely into being, more owned by these companies, Twitter, and how they want to run it. I mean, I think Elon bought Twitter because he wants that data. He wants to start selling that data of everybody, right? And it's real time. It's everybody's thoughts and opinions right away. If he can feed that into some AI bot, who knows, where they could take that. So I definitely don't think these platforms are decentralized at all.
Amazing. Ripul, what's your opinion? How decentralization would actually can benefit this industry, considering all the potential for easy spread of misinformation, and can eventually entire media industry, including the social media, can benefit from decentralization? And if yes, how it can happen?
Thank you for the kind introduction. And yes, I truly believe that decentralization gonna be the future of everything, right? From the decentralized exchanges, wallets, and now we are talking about decentralized social media. Firstly, we need to understand what decentralization means. The power is not in the hands of single individual, whether it can be Elon Musk or Mark Zuckerberg. Decentralization means giving the power back to the community, to the users. That's what we expect now. And I'm pretty sure you guys must be aware of whatever bad things happened in 2022 in terms of crypto perspective. About the FTX thing, I'm just relating this thing to understand why we need the social media decentralized, so that the thing which happened with the crypto exchange doesn't happen now with the social media. Decentralization, as I said, is giving back power back to the people. Who doesn't use social media now? As my colleague rightly said, that right now more than 50% of the population on this globe use social media, right? And by the time we wake up in the morning, before having a sip of water or coffee, we just go check our phones. Right? Maybe it can be Instagram or Twitter or anything for anyone, maybe WhatsApp. And by the time you go to bed and have a dream of becoming a Cillionaire, you're still thinking about getting your hands on mobile. A lot of times we just turn off the internet and turn on to see about the notification, all these things. So my point is that our daily life is so much connected with the social media, and now if the social media gonna be centralized only, how it gonna give back to the community? For example, now you're watching content on Instagram, Facebook, or Twitter. Does it pay you? No. You are just just for the sake of getting likes or something. But due to decentralized, there are many platforms. For example, there is an app called Chingari. It's very famous in India. There is a new project coming, Real Star also. We are content creator. Anyone can be content creator, right? It's not that you need to have a specialized degree in content creation. You just need to have a mobile phone or camera and just start uploading the content. And the more reach you get, the more amount of tokens or points you get. And that's the power of decentralization. Because right now, if you are posting content on Twitter or Instagram, mostly those companies are making money. As a viewer, watcher, or content creator, you're not making money. So the decentralization not only will give you the power, but also give you an earning opportunity here in this space, which I believe gonna be the future. And yes.
Well, I have a question. For example, YouTube today pays to the creators, but not the consumers. Do you believe decentralization will still give a power to the consumer as a passive user of the platform? Or do you think that still decentralization will be fair, that it gives a fair share to creators, but still leaves away the consumers?
So right now, you have a very valid question. We have two kinds of social media. Firstly, the ones which I talked about, Instagram and Facebook, or Twitter, which doesn't pay anything even to content creator or the consumer. But in case of YouTube, it pays to the content creator, right? So the thing is, once a new decentralized social media comes up, where a content creator as well as consumer gets paid, obviously the community will drive to that social media platform. Because it's whatever these platforms, including YouTube, Instagram, Facebook has done so far, has bring us to the metaverse, to that virtual reality. But now is the time to pay back to the community also. So I strongly believe that decentralized social media platform will take over the world. Maybe right now only 50% of the world population is using social media. When decentralized social media app comes in, maybe 90% of the population gets onboarded, maybe 7 billion or so, who knows?
I think it's a little optimistic. I mean, I don't know if we can realistically give people money for consuming content. I mean, sure, okay, so we give them some token maybe because it's on that platform and you earn that token, but what are people going to actually do with that token?
Then, Marcin, I have a question for you. Like, for example, today, Facebook is a publicly listed company, and all the shareholders, they create a value for the shareholder, which is the similar idea to the centralized organization. When you have a stake in that organization, you get a share of the earnings. Do you think like this like whole idea of decentralizing social media or any organization, what is the like imminent challenge? Is it like more of like technical, maybe something about regulations, or like how these like earning mechanisms work as someone who has a huge experience in this industry?
Okay, hello. Okay, so thank you very much for this question. And I think we have three the biggest challenges. The first and the second is technical, regulatory, and the user habits. So the first, the technical side, I think today the technology it's not so easy for the user. That means if we want to engage the new users in the Web3 space, it's very difficult because you have to know what does mean wallets, different network. You have to switch the different network. You have to control your data, your privacy. You have to know what does mean private key. So this is a lot of different words, and you have to explain. So from my perspective, technology should be much easier for the user. So user experience, UX, UI should be very easy. You don't have to know that you are using the blockchain technology. You have to click, 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 and that's all. So this is the first one. The second one is regulatory. So I think in Web 2.0 we have GDPR, so we have a lot of challenges right now. And if we manage the sensitive data, so if we imagine that we give the power to the user to control the data, to generate the sensitive data, so I think we move to GDPR from the Web 2 to the Web 3.0. It will be we will have much more challenges than in Web 2.0. But from my perspective, the most crucial is user habits. So we heard that we want to give the power to the user. We want to give the control of the data, the control of my account, everything. So from my perspective, the user the user don't understand what does mean the control, the manage the private key, the manage data. Mm-hmm. Because today, if I use my social network and I lost my password, I can restart my password and everything works. If someone hack my account, I can connect with the support and I can recover my account. If we talk about the decentralized social media and we control my account, I control my data, and I lost my private key, I lost my data, I lost my account. So who helped me? So I think this is very very crucial topic to address to the user and explain what does mean exactly decentralized social media.
Very interesting points. I think you touched, because I think these kind of issues are way forward to think about how entirely all the centralized organization can be moved to the decentralized organizations, not only social media, but also I like the fact that you touch GDPR and all the regulations out there. I think one way they failed, because today the regulation is there, but every website we visit, by default we just press accept all without thinking what we are doing, because as you mentioned, we don't know much what kind of data is collected, and we all have this urgency to go and consume that data. Ripul, I have a question for you. Like, do you think, because you were mentioning like giving power back to people, do you think people have enough knowledge capacity within the decentralized organization to self-regulate, especially when it comes to harmful content, hate speech on the social media, and who will be monitoring this? Like how that system would work in ideal decentralized scenario?
Yeah, I fully agree that because once we talk about decentralization, it comes with the responsibility to aware and educate them more also. Like, it's not easy for everyone to use hardware wallets and decentralized exchanges as well. But with proper education and awareness, it can be done. So same goes with the decentralized social media network also. When the decentralized social media comes in the play, you have now two options. First is you don't have to go to decentralized social media, but you have now two options. You can go and you can you can be content creator on any platform. You can earn points, tokens, money, whatever you say, right? Now you have two options. So it will take time to users from come to centralized social media to decentralized social media. But eventually, I believe and strongly believe that it's gonna happen one day very soon. But it's all about who takes the advantage and who brings the change. For example, now as Michelle was also mentioning that Elon Musk bought Twitter for $44 billion. That's a loss-making business. So why he bought? For the sake of data. She's very right about that. But eventually, by doing multiple improvements around the Twitter, and now he's charging $8 for that blue badge. Who knows, like maybe in future he's gonna charge $800 for that golden badge. As per my sources, I came to know that they're gonna charge $2,000 per month. So that's the thing, when you have users, when you have data, when you have community, there are a lot of ways to monetize it. And any business can be a profitable business if you do it very nice and genuine way. So yes, and who knows, maybe one day Elon Musk just, accepts Dogecoin into it as form of payment and we all go to the moon.
I think we'll come back to this monetization question in common questions. Marcin, I have a question like building on this idea of personal data and security. And we all remember like Cambridge Analytica scandal of the Facebook. Do you think like it will, like I have this crazy idea, like what if we all became very aware of our personal data? And what if this decentralization also gives us a power to sell it?
Okay, so I think it's a good idea. I think we are thinking about it, how we can monetize our data. And I think if we're talking about the centralized social media for the creator, and we want to monetize this data in the high level, I think it's a very nice idea. But if we go one level down, I think it's not so easy. I want to talk about some project I'm engaged right now. It's in Poland. I work with one of the biggest healthcare company in Poland, and it's a very strong company in Web 2.0. They have a lot of 1,000 users, and at the beginning, the idea was to give the users ability to control the data. And the idea was we give everything to the user, they generate the healthcare data, they will sell this data, and everybody will be happy. But the main question is when the decentralization start and when the decentralization end. And I don't believe that we can give whole control to the user right now. Maybe in the future, yes, but not now. And I explain why. Because I, as a user, I can generate the data, I can sell this data, I can control this data. That means I can decide I will sell this data to this company and I will not sell this data to this company. In this use case, specific use case, what I described, the customer can generate the data and the big company buy this data. And the huge problem is when the user lost the key. They lost everything. So we have to storage the copy of this data in the centralized system or on the paper. So if we can control this storage on the data on the centralized server, the question is, it is the centralized solution or not? For me, no. It's something like pseudo-centralized.
It's like a hybrid work from home model then?
Yeah, exactly. So I think right now it's very difficult, but in the future we will monetize, we will generate and sell the data, but we need few years more.
Yeah,
Cool.
I mean, not only just that kind of adoption, but we also need the adoption of just like utility. Like, what's wrong with Twitter right now? What's wrong with YouTube right now? You know, these content creators are going to want to have to move, and I think a lot of them are comfortable, right? You got people like Crypto Jamie, you know, BitBoy, whatever, that are out there making content on these other platforms. What's their incentive to move to a decentralized one? I don't know.
Michelle, we were having a great conversation backstage regarding what's actually a social media. Because when Facebook was founded, it was like add your friends and family, get to know who is getting married, who has a new dog or a new child. But today, it moved to a very different dimension where we have these influencers and creators who entertain us continuously. We go to TikTok and swipe endlessly. Like, what is a social media for you?
Yeah, I think social media is any kind of platform that you can, you know, engage with, you know, with other people in terms of comments or whatnot, right? We were defining like OnlyFans might be social media, right? You can comment, you can interact with the people, but maybe not like a traditional media source like Washington Post, right? That maybe you can submit an article to get published, but I think that's more of like a review process. So I think anything where you can kind of put up your own content, make your own blog or posts, and have people interact with you would make sense to be social media. Yeah.
You're one of the greatest names in growth marketing, and you are known for building very strong communities around crypto industry. But it's also not secret that most of the projects are fueled by Telegram, Signal, and Discord, which is like more of like a closed, intimate circles. I'm not sure they serve the purpose of social media or at least content distribution. But do you believe that like more decentralized social media becomes, more it will be like a fractional communities engaging among themselves rather than getting something like as big as Facebook, which has 2 billion users today? Like, what is your opinion? Like, how, as Marcin was mentioning, like, where does decentralization start and end in that perspective?
Sure. So I think that going back to the question of like just building those communities and getting fractalized, I think in general people tend to, you know, kind of herd themselves right around. They like to find people that they're familiar with, that they, you know, enjoy, have similar topics, right? Find your people, as you might say. So when you're finding your people, you're going to do that within your community or online. But what I think is great about these online communities is that you can find people all over the world. So you can find your people instead of it being, you know, your next door neighbor. Now you can find somebody in India, in, you know, Japan, wherever that might be into crypto and start this new community. So I don't think it's fractionalized us as much as it's actually broadened your, you know, your horizons, your opportunity to meet different people of different backgrounds. But yeah, I don't know. I think in general, people are always just going to, you know, get into little pockets anyway. And hopefully, once we, you know, continue to foster these communities and make sure that they're open to, you know, friendly speech and all of that, then, you know, we can keep growing them all over the world. Yeah.
Marcin, what do you think? Like, does having different protocols and different, like, these technological universes will make it hard for these communities to talk the easier, same way that they do today on Facebook by creating groups and randomly adding people? Like, because I'm sure, like, today, even, like, minting an NFT in one platform and trying to send it to another wallet is kind of impossible. And there's a huge barriers of these technologies talking to each other. Like, what is your opinion in that?
I think today we are in, if we compare the Web 3.0, the technology today, with the Web 2.0, I think we are in the 80 years. Something like Windows 95, Netscape Navigator, so the user trying to explore the Web 2.0. So today, with the Web 3.0 is the same situation. If we have the NFTs, as you mentioned, in one network, and we want to switch to the other, it's not possible, or it is, but it's very difficult. And I think we need the same story. We need much more time, and the technologies have to be much more efficient for the user than right now. So I think the technology is very important here, but I think the business side is very important also.
Cool. Michelle, I have a question for you. Like, as we were talking this, like, adding different people from Japan and, I don't know, someone in South America and talking to each other and eventually taking your project to the next level, even going viral, right? It's like the beauty of that platform. And I think when TikTok came to the picture, everyone was talking how it goes viral and it's easy to dominate that platform. But recently, news came out that apparently TikTok was doing it manually. Whenever the high-profile individual or company joins the platform, they would manually boost their content in order to give that illusion that, okay, TikTok is the platform for you.
Yeah.
And what do you think, like, how would decentralization make it fairer, or if there's a whale wallet holders who have a higher stake in that DAO would claim that, okay, now they want their post to be shown to more people, like how that should be regulated, like algorithms and tricking and distribution should work?
Yeah, I mean, I know there's a lot of idealism in crypto and in blockchain technology, which I appreciate, but I still think at the core of everything, there's still companies that are trying to make money and people trying to make money. So while, if you really think about blockchain and what it is kind of a way to store data differently than what we have in Web 2, right? So I definitely think that it's not going to be as private or as decentralized as we want it to be. Realistically, there will still be those, choosers and algorithms and things that can, in my opinion at least, that will still affect it. I mean, I was reading, I think there's a lot of talk recently too, or in general, about how this will help with privatization. You have your private keys, no one will know who you are. But I read about a company recently that's trying to use your social media, use your buying history to match your wallet address to you. So there's even companies that are trying to do this kind of stuff now. So your digital footprint is going to be there forever. So just keep that in mind when you're making decisions and how private or not you want your life to be, right? Yeah, that's maybe doomy and gloomy, but.
Ripul, you work with very high-profile individuals all the time, and I was seeing your interaction. What's your take on, for example, Elon Musk buying Twitter, Donald Trump opening his own social media because now he can't access any? And recently there was a scandal. Apparently, Elon Musk told Twitter engineers that they should make his tweets the most viewed and serve as the most impression. What do you think? How that this centralization and how that decentralization could benefit these users, or would they benefit it? And also, eventually, do you think instead of Elon Musk's, one day some group of individuals can collect that money, go buy Twitter and make it decentralized?
That's a pretty long question, though.
Actually, there are many questions, but
yeah, it is many questions, no problem. But yeah, all questions are pretty important, though. I believe that's why, I'll start with the last question. I believe that's why Jack Dorsey left Twitter, because he is starting something decentralized now. And he's building, if I'm not wrong, he's building something around blockchain too, maybe a wallet or something. So, all these techie guys, I believe they see the future, which we cannot, right? So that's why I also believe that decentralized is going to take over now. And as you said about Donald Trump and all those guys, these things happen with any centralized social media. They can ban any profile whenever they want, right? Just imagine, you are a content creator and you spent years and years of hard work uploading the content, and now you're getting finally that reach and appreciation. For example, now we are on Twitter and we get, generally retweeted by CZ and Binance. So one day when we wake up and see the profile is not there, it's gonna hurt as anything, right? But because why? It is centralized, that's why. Because someone has the power to take your profile down without even telling you. And there's no one to talk to. You just have to, raise tickets and all these things. But eventually, it's going to cost you like anything, right? Because you spent, all your efforts went into vain overnight. So that's the thing. That's why I also believe that decentralized is going to take over that thing. Because, it should be something that the profile or individual cannot be hampered in that way. And yes, I believe that eventually a decentralized social media platform will come. Maybe, Elon also builds something around it new after Twitter something, or maybe new entrepreneur comes up with something really cool idea. It's not about, there was always Twitter before Elon Musk too. But after Elon came into the game, it became a next level thing. And everyone now is on Twitter. It's a most talked social media network right now. So maybe something better than it can also come. There is always room for technology, new innovations. Yeah.
And Marcin, do you think because you talked a lot about how technology is ready or not, do you think next gen decentralized social media should be more about freedom of speech and anonymity, or it should be more about as Michelle was mentioning, like matching your wallet to your identity and still having the burden of digital footprint?
So the first, I want to compare the centralized business model and the decentralized business model. For me, the centralized business model is very easy. That means we have the one organization, and this organization provides the infrastructure for the end user. The end user can create the data. The user don't care about the privacy, the security, the everything. And this is the technical level. And we have the business level, so one level up, and the centralized organization, so maintenance, the network, support the user, so we earn the money as an organization. So the other side, we have the centralized social media, platform, whatever, and we also have two layers. The layer one, it's in the technical layer also, and we can say that is distributed network. That means we don't have the technical dependencies relationship. So the nodes, the miners are located around the world, and so we can say that it's the blockchain technologies deliver the trust, immutable data, and transparency. So I believe that at this moment, at this layer, we have everything to deliver everything what you say. But if we go up, we have the same situation like in the centralized model. Because the decentralization, that means we don't have the business relationship, we don't have the business dependencies. So from my perspective, right now, it's very difficult to achieve this goal. So I think in the infrastructure level, we can achieve the decentralization, the monetization, give the user some power. But in business model, I think it's very difficult.
Michelle, I have a question for you. I'm not sure how much you agree with Marcin or not, but there's a great example of Wikipedia and how it's like crowdsourced information. It's totally free. People literally volunteer to create that content. They monitor each other and have all the power. Do you think it's like as hard as Marcin mentioned to move to the next level on a like peer-to-peer understanding, even maybe like something that doesn't involve money at all?
Yeah, I want to be hopeful. Like, I like to be, in my head at least, like a hippie, love everyone kind of a person. But I think realistically, there's too many bad actors in society. And while he was making some good points about your profile might not get deleted. Wouldn't that, what about all the false information that's out there? What about all the people, spreading lies? I come from America and we don't have the best politics right now. And there's a lot of, lies and misinformation spread. And I worry that if there's not somebody kind of controlling or, good actors trying to take care of it, maybe we could police each other. I don't know. Well, I guess TBD, right?
Police each other.
But
so American, right?
But I don't know. I'm hopeful, but remain a little skeptical in what the future will be.
And Ripul, you were mentioning like important points regarding like monetization, and there are like million ways. Do you think like current advertiser-led money making, even like all the large tech companies, starting from Google, where search ads make like 70% of the money that's made, or 80% on Facebook. Do you think decentralization will also like change the model completely, or we will be still needing that advertiser money, or there's a value that decentralization can create within that community?
Okay, so you're asking about the ads right now happening in the centralized platforms, right?
Exactly.
Yes, I believe that once the decentralization gonna come, it will also change the way the ads are running right now. Because now any project you talk about or any brand, they're spending a lot of money on the advertisement. For instance, take the example of Twitter. Twitter ads are expensive, not cheap. And they're literally, flowing a lot of money daily just to keep their tweet promoted, right? We see those tweets often, how they are promoted via the ads. But why? But the question is why they need to be promoted, right? To get more eyeballs. And how to get more eyeballs? Somebody sees it, that's why they get more impressions, right? Just right now, a few weeks back, Twitter went that option public that you can see the impressions of others, how many impressions your tweet got. So anyone can see now, like how many views you have or she has, or this guy has. So that's the thing is, when the decentralization comes in play and every user of that app is getting paid or rewarded somehow, maybe points, which unlocks a new level or something like that. A couple of years back, I was speaking about GameFi, that play to earn trend was coming very fast. So because right now we see everyone, right? The kids 10, 12 years old playing games. Why? They're getting paid nothing. They're not even getting a candy.
Yeah.
Right? Then why they're playing non-stop for 10 hours, 12 hours, 15 hours? Because they get, it's kind of adrenaline rush, right? They're happy playing that. But just imagine if the same game comes up with the token or something rewarding system, how much benefit. There can be career in games. Anyone can say, okay, I'm a gamer full time. And people will be proud of it. So that's how people can be say, okay, I am a social media guy. What you do? I use social media. Right now, I believe just two people are making money in this game. First is the team owning the social media company. Second is the marketing guy, the agencies. And the users who are the main part of this ecosystem are not earning anything or just for the sake of, and you asked the question before also, like, why people are right now more active in social media? Because they are not that active in real life. Whatever we have right now, we just put it out in the form of story. That this is I'm feeling right now, this is what I'm eating right now, this is what I'm wearing right now, this is the mall I'm going. It's a simple way to communicate all of your circle. But when that things kind of slide, I'm not saying that give them 200 pounds a day, but even 20 pounds a day or something like that, this will, bring a next revolution in the, maybe it can be Web4, who knows?
Amazing. Thank you, everyone, for joining our talk today. I think it was very beneficial and interesting. We had Ripul with us, who is the CEO of Cillionaire. We have Marcin, who is the managing director of Polish Blockchain Association. And we had Michelle with us, who is the growth director for Deepcoin. And I want to conclude all the discussions today that we definitely believe that decentralization will play a huge role in future. I'm not sure, as Marcin mentioned, technology is not ready yet, and we are not most probably there yet to give all the power to the users. But also Michelle is hopeful that in future we can definitely take our power into our hands and make sure that our privacy is guarded by ourselves, not anyone else. And Ripul was hopeful that still we can all make money and get rich by sharing our lives and important moments from the life we live and get rewarded. Thank you very much.
We all gonna be Cillionaires.
Have a great day.